Mike McCool here in the Royal Examiner studio, and with me, once again, Nancy Smith. She has run 24 consecutive Boston marathons. She just finished. That was just not that long ago, a few days ago, really. So this was what, the 100 and, which Boston was this one?
128th
128th Boston Marathon. She's got look at all these medals she's got here. And, you know, she's a finished runner, and it's important to say consecutive, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
A lot of people running it. How many were this year? 30, 40, 50,000? I mean,
there were 26,600 who started, and then there were about 1,000 who DNF did not finish.
Right.
And so that brought it down around 25,000.
That's still a lot of people, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it is. And so it was actually 1 week ago today. I was just thinking as I was driving over here, I was halfway through, halfway finished.
She said, as before we started, she said, I can almost stand up now, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm not sore anymore.
So tell us, you want to give us a little, now you run for a particular reason now.
I do.
I've got your shirt over here. We can go ahead and talk about that, because on the front of the shirt, Mark, see if you can get this. This is the Dana-Farber Marathon Challenge. Of course, Nancy, who you are. And so on the back here, this is the person, is your running person.
Right.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about Brooke?
Okay, so this is my 9th year running on Dana-Farber Innovative Cancer Research. And Brooke, now I run in memory of her. She was diagnosed with neuroblastoma cancer at age 4, and then she fought so hard. She passed away at age 12. And so it's really special to her mom that I continue to, just remember her and people to hear about her. And
this for the organization, you raise money for them.
Yes.
So how about this year? How did you do?
I am so excited to share that so far I've raised $11,575. We're the largest charity team, Boston charity team. We're a team of 500, and we've raised together this year almost $8 million.
That's just this year.
Yeah, and all the donations go directly to cancer research, so there's no overhead. And then total for the 9 years that I've run, I'm up to almost 66,000.
Wow.
So
that's great.
Yeah,
people do help. Running for a cause kind of gives you that get out. Well, I guess I'll do it one more time, right?
Yeah. Well, I just 1 out of 3 people experience cancer. I hate cancer. Yeah. It's just my mom, my dad, my grandmother, and my aunt passed away from cancer. I've had, like right now, one of my good friends was just diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and so it just makes the running more purposeful.
Sure.
Because, to go back, Boston is the only marathon that you have to qualify to run or that you can run on a charity. So I've qualified 15 or 16 years, but then again, the past 8-9 years I've run on Dana-Farber. Okay. And it's just such a wonderful experience because we're like family, and we are united by our common cause to defy cancer.
Yeah, and there's a lot of organizations that do this, but this helps bring people together, I think, and using the marathon is a good thing. It's a good thing.
Well, spectators lined the entire course, the 26.2 miles, and they love Dana-Farber. And the reason also that I have my name in large letters on the front is because they cheer for you. They're like, "Go Nancy, go Nancy," and it's just so motivating and encouraging.
And that helps, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. Yes, it's really. And then they'll say they have an accent. Well, in my Dana-Farber, go Dana-Farber. So.
Yeah, they're from Boston. Yes. But it's amazing. The community does come together for this marathon. Like you said, they line this course. That's tens of thousands of people.
It's Patriots Day, so the schools are closed and a lot of the businesses, and so they just kind of make a party of it.
Yeah.
And they're out there cheering. They'll have maybe orange slices or licorice sticks. In addition to, there's a water stop and a Gatorade stop almost at every mile. So, and bananas.
Yeah.
But again, they make it family.
You don't finish hungry, that don't sound like. So
no.
What about medical things? How do they handle, I'm sure there's got to be some medical issues with all the thousands of people running?
They have 31 medical tents on the course, and their medical staff, they watched everyone to make sure that they're safe, or, if they look like they're experiencing some kind of medical, because they even asked me at one point, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm fine."
Okay.
But I appreciate
so
them
they'll
checking.
actually maybe pull somebody up.
Oh yeah. And in fact, I was looking at the numbers, and there were, it's right here. There were almost 3,000 medical encounters, and that means encounters either on the course or at the finish. And then I also wrote down that there were 126 hospital transfers. It was a really warm day. It was 73 degrees, which is the warmest since 1917. And so
what
that
time of the day do you start?
it depends on which wave you're in.
Okay.
So I think the first wave starts around 9:30. Well, the elite runners start before that. And then the first wave around 9:30, I was in wave 2, so that was 10:25.
Okay.
And there are 4 waves, so they start about 15 minutes apart.
I guess they stage you at different parts of town. Is that?
No, they just, you're in corrals, and so let's say it's wave 1, then they let any of the runners with, what color bib was it? Red bibs, to go into the corral. This also tells you, so this is wave 2, and then I'm corral 8. And they have staff there, and they will not let you in that wave, that corral, unless it matches your bib. So the people that are still waiting, you're back in a holding area, maybe Athletes Village or...
Kind of call you up and get everybody ready.
Yeah, well, you got to pay attention.
Yeah, you're going to get left behind.
Yeah, that's right.
They got a lot of rules and stuff. So what else? You got a couple little swag things here. What do we got?
Yes, well, they give you this little bell that if you bring family or support with you,
so
you can use that. And then...
Well, this is an interesting thing here. She brought this bag. Mark, see if you can kind of get a quick picture of this. Tell us a little bit about this. This is one of the swag things they give the consecutive runners, right?
Right. This year I got to be a part of the Unicorn Club, and that's for runners that have consecutive Bostons. And so one of the amenities is this bag that's made out of upcycled vinyl from the banners.
Yeah, from previous banners.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, too. They recycle everything in Boston.
They happen, yes. And then I also got to go on a luxury bus to the start, and we were escorted by 6 police on motorcycles,
right.
And so that was really a unique, cool experience.
I'm sure getting around is not easy.
No, and I should also, in case people don't know, so the Boston Marathon, you are bussed out to the start, and then you run back in. So you don't want to. You want to take the buses and not have to worry about trying to get a vehicle
traffic
through.
Must be crazy.
Yeah, and then I just wrote down some other things. The Boston Marathon is the oldest marathon. It's the only marathon that you have to qualify to run, and that's dependent on if your gender and your age group, or you can run on a charity. It was started in 1897, and then this is kind of special to me. So the first woman to ever complete it was Catherine Schweitzer in 1967. She snuck on.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then Jack Stemple, race director, tried to pull her off. Well, they became friends later. But it wasn't until 1972 that women were permitted to run the Boston Marathon.
Today you wouldn't even think about that. You think, what?
But 1972, I think back, I graduated from high school in 1974.
Right.
It just, didn't hit me that they didn't think women could physically complete a marathon.
A lot of women run, I'm sure.
Yes, more and more so.
Yeah.
So and what else?
So what kind of motivated you on the very first Boston Marathon?
It's the challenge, and it's like that. Sure.
Woke up one day, said, "You've seen it on TV. I'm going to run in the Boston Marathon."
Well, let's see. I ran Chicago, and that's when I qualified for my first Boston.
Right.
I started running when I was about 24. I ran 2 marathons in back in Texas and Arkansas. I went to college there, and then had children, work, got my master's. So I didn't start back until 40, but I started running with a group of teachers, and that's like, I ran well back then. So it's just that's pretty much a goal
That's
of runners, that you like to qualify for Boston is a big deal.
You mentioned this qualifying. So there's certain marathons around the country that you have to run in order to be and get the
Right.
right time.
Right.
Because everybody can't run in it. So
Right.
they give you this window of time. You got to, so certain marathon, just not any marathon, right?
It has to be a Boston qualifier.
Okay.
Most marathons are.
Okay.
But
One to keep official time. I think that's the basic premise. They just want to make sure that you're
yeah,
not gonna,
it's a big deal too.
it's a big deal. It is.
Yeah,
it is
to
a big
qualify.
deal. It's a big deal. Like you say, think about all the people that run. Even though it sounds like a lot of people that ran, that's still a
elite.
speck compared to all the people that run in marathons. And to qualify to run in that is a big deal.
Also, there are a lot of runners from around the world.
Yeah, this isn't
Which
just
is-
something. Yeah, you
which
see that.
also-
That's why when you mentioned elite runners, these are the guys that run this thing in like what 2 hours or something.
Yeah, it's crazy. I can't imagine.
They're running 20 mile an hour. I don't know. It seems, 15, 20, because, what did they say? Running, what do you speed? 4, 5, 6 miles an hour? I don't know.
Used to.
Yeah.
Which I wanted to also show people that are watching. I mean, yes, I used to be competitive, and then as I've gotten
More mature.
more mature, then I've been doing the past few years a Scalloway program. It's a run walk, and so he has some books out. But I wear a timer, and you can set it however you want. Like I usually do a 3-minute run, 1-minute walk, but you could do a 1-minute run, 1-minute walk. But it's a great way to maybe get back into running, or and I find that I'm not sore when I do a long run meaning whatever, 10, 12, 18, the longest I'll go is 20. If I do this, then the next day I'm not sore and I don't feel just sapped of energy.
Sure.
So I encourage people that if you're, wanting to get into maybe longer distances of running, this is a really good
Yeah.
way, and it helps
And it's
build
okay
your...
to walk. You don't have
Yes.
to run constantly.
Yes, I used to, when I started out again in the 40s, think, oh, walking, that's never.
It's shame on you that you
Yes.
have to walk right.
Yeah, so I've changed my attitude, and
Yeah.
I feel kind of guilty that I was kind of snobby that way, but
Yeah.
yeah.
You? I can't believe it.
Yeah.
So what's the plan going forward?
Well, the plan is to complete my 25th consecutive Boston next April. Then I'll be part of the Quarter Century Club, which is just like an honor. Not that matters, but there's a special bib that goes on the back that designates that this is your 25th, and there's a lot of respect from the runners, the participants.
Sure.
When they see that, it's like, congratulations.
Get out of the way, she's coming through.
Yeah, and I was telling you earlier that we moved from Michigan 3.5 years ago. So one of my Michigan runner friends, he completed his 55th consecutive Boston Marathon, and he made history this year, Mark Bauman, for the most consecutive Bostons. So
He's got to be getting up there.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's
just to-
mid-70s or something. Yeah.
so that's my plan, is
Just
to
keep
stay
walking a little
injury
more,
free.
but just keep.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key too, because some people go they go a little too hard, thinking they have to push it, and they
Yeah.
get hurt, and then that kind of wipes out their whole running
Yes.
forever.
Yeah, that's the goal when training, which I'll start 3 to 4 months out, is to stay injury free,
Yeah.
and then get to the start injury free, and then during the run, same thing. Number one goal is finish, 2 finish injury free, and then come in with an official Boston time.
Number 4,
So-
have fun.
You're right. Enjoy the journey.
You all go out for desserts afterwards.
Yeah, my daughter Amber got to join me this year,
Okay.
and she was such a great support. And so, yeah, her birthday actually was on Sunday, and then the marathon's on Monday. So we went out Monday night to a nice, yes, fish place. And so,
Great. That's great.
Yeah.
Nancy actually lives here in Front Royal, so
Yes.
congratulations. She's
Thank you.
a fairly newcomer, 3.5 or 4 years
Right.
ago, but it's good to have you here and share this with us every
Thank
year
you.
because we want you to come back next year.
Thank you.
And tell us about the joining this elite club that you belong to.
Thank you.
25 years.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, we love it here. It's been just a great move, and
Yeah.
it's just beautiful. The scenery, the hills.
Where do you run when you're practicing?
Around my neighborhood.
Okay.
I live what used to be Bowling Green South.
Right.
So
There's
I
some
stay
nice
around
long
there.
areas out there you can
Yeah.
run.
yes,
Yeah.
hilly, but that prepares you for Boston because.
Because I was going to say, Boston isn't flat and level.
No, it isn't at all. I don't know. Heartbreak Hill's like famous for. It just goes on and on and on, and it's toward the end of
Was
the.
that like mile 20 or something?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Oh, and then the famous "It Go" sign is.
Yeah.
Once you see that, you know, yay! I'm getting close to the finish, and then you run a short distance on Hereford, and then finish up on Boylston, which I believe is about 0.3 miles.
Right.
But you see that finish line, the
Yeah.
banner, and it's just like, and all the spectators cheering. It's
The adrenaline
just
kicks
so,
in then,
yeah,
doesn't
yeah. And I forgot also being part of that unicorn club. There's a banner where they'll change what's written up there, and it had on there, "Congratulations, Nancy Smith." And so that was like in front of everybody. I was so like excited to
Yeah.
see.
That
'cause
gives
it
that
was-
extra little push, didn't it?
Yeah, and yes, it was just, and then knowing that I finished and this is my 24th was
Yeah.
just, I was so happy. And then getting the medal. So this is
That's number
this
20,
year's medal.
24. Huh?
Yeah, and we were talking about, so when I started out, like just look at the difference in the medals. They
Sure.
were very simplistic and small, and then as the
They've
years have
grown over
gone
the years
on,
and got color in them, yeah.
yeah, so it's just kind of, and same thing with the jackets. They've become more, just the technology on them.
Sure.
This isn't this year's though.
Well, it says the unicorn on it. There you
Yeah,
go.
it's 2023.
Well,
I don't buy the jacket each year.
it lasts you long enough.
Well, I didn't like this year's jacket, so it's like nah. I know I love this one. That's 23.
You got these hanging up all over your house and the bibs everywhere, or you just throw them in a box and move on?
I have some hangers.
Yeah.
I haven't done it yet, but
You
when we
will.
were in Michigan, I hung them on these metal hangers.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm
Well, at least it gives
Very
you something
proud
to
of
talk
them.
about.
yes, yeah, it does.
We appreciate you sharing this journey with us.
Well,
And
thank you
it's,
for having
it's
me.
It's not something that everybody does, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that wish they did or could. But they can start. You don't have to be a marathon runner to be out and about. Just get out and walk and then have
Yes.
some fun, enjoy the scenery, and no, don't make it work so hard. Just
Yeah.
keep moving, because when you stop moving, you rust. So
Yes.
we appreciate that. And
thank you
come
for
back.
having me.
We will see you next April, May time. Does the Boston Marathon run the same week every time?
It's what is it? It's always on a Monday. So this, I believe, is the third Monday.
Yeah.
Next year, it's April 21st.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah,
We will see
so-
you 1st of May.
Sounds good.
Thanks again, Nancy.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.